Hey guys, welcome back, and today we're gonna see how well our cheapest GPU does with gaming and video editing. Just to let you know before we get started, when I recorded this video, I didn't realize that the GPU was being worked so hard by the games and the video editing that when I was screen recording, it just basically froze the screen recorder. So it would get locked onto like 1 frame a second or less than that, 1 frame every 3 minutes. And that's all it would do. So the recordings, especially on the gaming side, just looks like this. So I'm gonna zoom in on the TV a few times and you'll be looking at the TV instead of the actual screen recording software because they decided it didn't want to work with our little GPU back there. So thank you, that's all I had to say. Goodbye. Alright, so let's get out of here. Now let's open up a nice editor. So we're gonna open up Adobe After Effects and see what we can get with this. So we've got one project here that I like to use just for fun. It's got a really cool effect in it that involves making your footage look more like a really expensive type lens. So we're gonna bring in our footage right here. There's me looking uglier than ever. So here we are in our After Effects editor. Let's see how this plays. So getting Victoria's Secret. And if you want to look over here, this is where the frames a second are, up here in this corner. So it'll show you what the frames are supposed to be and what it is actually playing at. Victoria's Secret, you have to tell them your life
story on where you've been, out of the state, out of the country.
So as you can see, just trying to play this piece of footage, my voice turning really low right there is not because I was turning into the devil. It was because my GPU is not able to render this video fast enough, so it slows it down so it can keep up and not make it look choppy. As you saw over here, we were getting about 19 frames a second on this video alone. I expected to have a graphics card a lot sooner than how long I'm having to wait now. 1028 is not when I thought this graphics card was going to come out. I thought I was going to be good by now. I thought I was going to have that thing on the way at least by now. But the 28th of next month really does set back. The last video I posted on this channel was edited on this computer, and it took me 4 days to render that video. Not because it took that long, but because it kept freezing and crashing because the GPU wasn't wanting to render the video. The video was too complicated. In the video, if you watched it, you can watch it here again, was not that complicated at all. It wasn't complicated. It had some pretty colors, nice orange teals, and it had some just simple transitions, and then it had the color filter on top of that. And that really rainbow effect that I put on there, that threw it for a loop. Even when it does render, it takes about 6 hours. The first time I got it rendered, it took about 6 hours, and it's ridiculous because it makes it to 93% and then it shuts down, which means you've had to wait about 5 hours to realize it wasn't gonna work. So it's been fun. But hopefully we'll get over this and we'll have that new graphics card and we'll head on our way. Things only get worse when you go in here and you add in some simple effects. Really simple stuff here. We've added in some little blur there, and then we're going to vibrance. Let's add some vibrance in there. We'll add a little spotlight. So let's try to play this out right here. Let's see what we get. I've hit play. Nothing's happening. Okay, so we've got it playing. We're running at about 3 frames a second, and this is with simple effects added. Oh, wow. My point is, adding simple effects to videos on After Effects, it makes it pretty much unusable. Unless your idea of usable is going frame by frame at 2.7 frames a second, which would make a 60 frame a second 10-minute video really long to edit if you had to watch it like that. And when they gave us the 3 to 4% on gaming, they weren't joking. You get very little action while gaming. So we're gonna open up Grand Theft Auto here. So if you don't already know, when it comes to gaming, which I don't do a lot, but if it comes to gaming, There is very little CPU action and a whole lot of GPU needed to perform gaming because it's all 3D generated. It's all not real information. It all depends on what you do and how you play. You know, if you turn right, it's not a video. We don't know you're gonna turn right. So it all has to be generated by the computer. So we're gonna open this up and walk around and see what we can get out of it. The graphics card right now is overclocked by 50 core hertz and 50 memory hertz. I don't know if anybody understands what that means. I really don't know what it means. All I know is if you overclock too much, this happens. How do I stop this? In layman, and that's not the only time it happened. I tried to overclock this card so many times, and every time I would lose all of my information. Everything that I had recorded would get wiped out because I'd have to restart the computer because it would do this. Recording error. I guess the answer is you're not gonna get too far with this GPU. As you can see, the cute little dots everywhere happen to be showing up, and my border has completely disappeared, and I'm trying the reset key. It's not working though. Every time. So here we are in Grand Theft Auto, a game from 2013 on a GT 710 graphics card. As you can see just from the leaves flying around, this does not look good at all. I don't even know how to change the perspective, but oh Lord, look, oh, look at the screen tearing. Oh yes, this is exactly what we want. Oh yeah, let's jump off here. Wow. Oh yeah, that was a long fall. Oh wow. What? We died. Alright. So we're gonna run a quick benchmark test on this game and see what kind of frames a second we can get. Look at that, we're getting 63 frames a second. 45, what the hell? What is it doing? Why does it think we're getting such high frame rate? Okay, well when I tested it the first time I was getting 9 frames a second at best and 6 frames a second at its worst. And this is also about 6 frames a second. It just says the wrong numbers. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe we're gonna try it again. Run a benchmark test. Yes. So when I overclocked it to about 150 core megahertz and 150 or 200 hertz on the memory, I was getting about 9 frames a second. Again, it's still reading at 50, 60 frames a second, which is absolutely ridiculous and a big lie. So when I overclocked the GPU 150 megahertz on the core and 200 megahertz on the memory, I was getting about 9 frames a second. Then when I overclocked it, or when it was not overclocked, I was getting about 7 whopping frames a second. So even when you overclock it to the max potential overclock that the GPU can handle, it still performs very low. You only get 1-2 frames out of it a second, which is not very helpful in this situation. And then of course I kept running into the problem where I even tried to overclock it less than I had been overclocking it, and it still crashed my computer like so. So anyway, overclocking on this GPU doesn't always work. About 50 megahertz on each side of memory and core is about as far as you can go if you want it to be stable. So with a really low grade GPU, you really do bottleneck your computer if you're trying to video edit or game at all. You can't do it with a graphics card like this. Even if your CPU is really nice, your GPU will drag it straight down into the ground. I also have Other things going on the computer, I have these cute little fans here. I haven't been able to put the sidings and the top on because I don't have the graphics card. I still have to cut out the indentation right here for the graphics card because I'm not sure what the cutout's gonna need to look like. I also have these two fans right here that are gonna go on the top. These are really nice, super fast fans that'll blow a lot of wind around, air around. And I've got these fancy little fans. They don't do quite as much work, but they do look really cute. And of course it's gonna be mounted on the wall over here, but we'll get there when we get there. So that's about it, everybody. That's my video about bottlenecking with the GPU. So thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to see that next video, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell icon, and I will see you in the next one.